Gabimaru. He learned that life is more than simply killing when he was abandoned and betrayed by his own people. He developed a reputation for his brutal effectiveness and shrewd strategies as one of the deadliest and most skilled ninja assassins in his clan. But his life was not a bed of roses. He saw hell while training to get to that level. Come along as we delve deeper into Gabimaru, the hollow from Hell's paradise life, his quest for redemption, and his abilities. After the birth of their newborn in Iwagakure, a Jonin couple thought over names. The mother and father understood that their son's name would have to have no function in his life because he would have no choice but to grow up to become a shinobi in the future, just like the names of everyone else living there. The mother chose the one-letter name Tsuki for their child after taking a glance up at the full moon they were under, reasoning that the name was appropriate because it was foreboding and would provide him with no affection as he grew up. The married couple had intended to leave Iwagakure with their infant in order to live a normal life outside of the village's rules. However, the chief learned about their plan and had them put to death for their crimes, which happened in front of Tsuki. The chief then took it upon himself to raise Tsuki by subjecting him to horrifying shinobi training at an early age in preparation for becoming the following holder of the dreaded codename, Gabimaru the Hollow. Despite his youth and training with peers, Gabimaru lacked emotion and concern for himself and others. Eventually, the Iwagakure chief ordered him to duel and kill a child named Shija, who he claimed had his presence inside him. Tsuki was ready to help Shija by preparing him and helping him live as they grew up. Later, Tsuki was chosen by the Iwa chief to succeed the current title holder and took part in the rite of succession ceremony. In this ceremony, he had to fight Gabimaru to the death to fully earn his name. Tsuki survived the training, showed great promise in his skills, and was suspected of being responsible for the deaths of other candidates over time. He effectively completed the ceremony and took on the name Gabimaru. After the ceremony, Gabimaru found Shija among the dead shinobi of Iwa. Shija confesses to killing the previous candidates out of jealousy towards Gabimaru. Gabimaru realizes that Shija was the true culprit, despite the chief's belief that it was him. Shija admits to this and reveals that they have been helping Gabimaru all along to become Gabimaru. As Gabimaru the Hollow, Gabimaru spent years viciously assassinating his targets and growing in renown. Now looking into his family life, he married Yui, the daughter of the Iwagakure chief. The chief gave Gabimaru Yui as reward for his services, and he hoped they could give birth to more children for the community. Gabimaru initially thought he didn't reveal much about himself to Yui, but later confessed that he didn't believe he deserved a normal life due to his past actions. Yui assured him that he was qualified for normalcy in his life like other people, and should have at least one person who accepts him for who he is. Gabimaru fell in love with Yui as they began living together as a married couple, since she was the first person in his life who did not regard or fear him as a monster. Gabimaru was later picked to represent Iwagakure in a sparring match against a rival shinobi clan after returning from training severely injured. He was successful in quickly killing the representative of the opposing shinobi clan. Later, Gabimaru and the other top shinobi were given a task: to steal a ledger. The guys in possession of the ledger are to be knocked unconscious rather than executed, according to the Hollow, who gave the order to Gabimaru's crew once they successfully accomplished the job. The other shinobi grew suspicious of Gabimaru, believing that his behavior had changed drastically because he had gotten married. This accusation is swiftly refuted by Gabimaru, who asserts that marriage could never change him. Then Gabimaru met with the employer, who was amused to learn that he had not killed a single individual during the operation, but understood why because he was married as well. Gabimaru and the elite ninja are then given a task to kill their former boss and his wife. One of the shinobi targets the married couple, but Gabimaru chooses to spare them. As a result, 3 of the top shinobi attack Gabimaru, forcing him to defend himself and ultimately kill them. After ensuring the safety of the couple, Gabimaru allows them to leave. Gabimaru returns home to Yui once the assignment is over. The village head was eventually approached by Gabimaru to request his release from the Shinobi order so that he might resume his married life with his wife. Gabimaru is given one last duty to perform by the village leader before he may receive an answer. After being labeled a traitor by Iwagakure and giving in to his emotional weakness, Gabimaru is detained by the authorities who previously sentenced him to death for his crimes. He loses his will to live and decides to forget about his happy existence with his loving wife, convinced that living a regular life would be impossible. Gabimaru, who is about to be put to death, is forced to accept Asaimon's offer to join an expedition to find the elixir of life. Gabimaru's offenses will be forgiven if the mission is successful. However, the quest is filled with perils and unidentified opponents. Gabimaru has always claimed that he had no attachment to life, but still he resists the idea of dying. How can a ninja who is notorious for his exceptional powers and abilities die like that? That can't really happen. Well, how did he really become a deadly ninja? It all contributes to his skills and abilities. Look at his incredible physical power. He can pierce the skin of people and other living things with just his bare fists and legs. He used the monk's spear as leverage while his hands were restrained to raise a warped Keiyun, a big man 3 times his size, into the air. He had the strength to dismember the Soshin limb from limb and could bring the enormous Rokurta tumbling down with a single kick. He was able to match Jujin's strength and eventually defeated them by tearing them apart more quickly than they could repair themselves. Being a former Iwagakure shinobi, Gabimaru has an inhuman body that allows him to execute things that no regular person can accomplish. He can dislocate his neck, briefly stop his heart from pumping, and harden his body. He possesses extraordinary durability and endurance. He is a skilled and powerful hand-to-hand fighter who uses devastating punches and kicks. With the aid of his Tao skills, he was able to stand his ground against the likes of the invincible Jujin in one-on-one combat and even the fiercely combative Ran. Gabimaru is skilled in a variety of ninjutsu techniques. Gabimaru's ninjutsu uses flames to burn opponents and he is resistant to fire. He demonstrated this during his execution, escaping with only minor burns and surviving being burned alive. Think about mapping out the layout of fortresses, or detect if anyone is on guard, or avoid any skirmishes by sensing the inorganic Tao of structures. Well, that's easy as pie for Gabimaru. He has Tao with the fire attribute. By using it, Gabimaru can detect the presence of others and learn the layout of his surroundings. As evidenced by his victory over a group of Iwagakure genin, Gabimaru's Tao sensory can help him in combat read the motives behind his adversary's attacks. He can even handle fighting against a large group. He could also keep up with Shija's breakneck speed. His Tao sensory ability also allows him to detect the weak places of a person's Tao, which means if once found, he can even put less effort into his attacks to deliver damage to his opponents. Gabimaru's intelligence and observational skills rank above his physical prowess and ninjutsu as his best strengths. Yuzuriha even referred to him as a battle nerd because of how tactical and fighting genius he has become as a result of his extensive ninja training. He has also demonstrated exceptional skill with a sword, to the point where he can compete with Yamada Asaemon, who are regarded as real swordsmen of the highest level in combat. Gabimaru was saved from death by injecting himself with one of Mudan's Kishikai stingers, which gave him the Flower Tao's regenerative powers, making him immortal. He can restore his body effortlessly, regardless of the severity of the injury inflicted on him, such as being stabbed by a large stone spike or being burned by strong flames that overcome his resistance. Gabimaru is aware that, in spite of this advantageous trait, his regeneration can only be hindered by opponents who possess the Water Tao attribute, so he must guard against being struck and keep the flowers inside of him from consuming his body. Can he resist? What do you think? If you are a longtime fan of Hell's Paradise, let us know in the comment section. And if you like this video and would like to see more like it, click the subscribe button and enable the notification icon to never miss a new upload.